Jacob, give me a breakout.
Laviska Shenault. Just start with my boy Laviska. Is he fair?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's fair. That's who I had listed first too. So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm super excited for Viska. I mean, he's been targeted at a really high rate in the preseason. He's going to move to the slot where he's targeted at the 10th highest rate of any player in the NFL last year from the slot. I think he's going to really thrive in that role with some good downfield weapons there to open up the field for him, open up a lot of space. I'm really, really excited for him.
All right, I think everybody is at this point.
It's hard not to love him. If you look at the way that Urban used Harvin back in Florida, he wanted to do that with ETN. He wanted ETN to be his Harvin, and it's gonna be Shenault now. I just love that. I love everything about that situation.
It's just too bad Kadarius Toney wasn't there.
Yeah, look, I don't know why you always make fun of that. Kadarius Toney was the consensus number 4, not consensus. He was the number 4 wide receiver in this draft class.
Yeah, weren't they looking at him? I mean, I feel like they were looking at him. I feel like Green Bay was looking at him.
Urban Meyer admitted that if Tony, that was why I didn't think ETN was necessarily going to ruin James Robinson. When Urban Meyer came out and said we would have taken Tony if he was there, clearly they were just looking for a playmaker. They weren't looking for a running back to replace James Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations to Jake for winning our CBS Commissioner League. Okay, Laviska Shenault is now going 87th overall. So the wide receivers after him are DJ Chark, Brandon Cooks, Corey Davis. This is in the last 10 days on NFC. You guys think that makes sense? Shenault ahead of Chark. I know we all think that, but what about ahead of Brandon Cooks and Corey Davis?
I think it's right.
I think I took Shenault ahead of both of them in our draft earlier today, Adam.
Hey, there you go. All right. Scott, give me a breakout that Jacob didn't steal.
You know, how high up do you want to go? Because I think this is the year that Antonio Gibson drops himself into that top 5 talk for next year. Or I can go with a much, much deeper guy.
Oh no, let's go. I'm not there on Gibson, so convince me.
Okay.
I might be including him in my bust column on Friday.
Oh, oh man. So for me, the way I see that situation, and I was talking to Evan Silva about this just the other day, that I see that situation as last year they wanted him to learn the running back position. And that's why McKissick took all those passing downs and all that passing work. All the reports out of camp is he's taking on the 3-down work. They got him to learn the position last year. Now they can add the facet of his game that we knew he was good at in limited sample size as a wide receiver in college, very limited sample size, that we know is a strength of his game. They can add it to his repertoire this year because he's learned the position for a full year. I just feel this is the year that he jumps into that 60+ catch range. And I'm not sure that the rushing touchdowns even come down from 10. That is a great defense. They're going to be in okay game scripts most of the time. They're not going to be completely out of it all the time. So I like the situation he's in. I like the fact that the passing's got to come up from last year. I don't know that McKissick is going to take as much as people think. They're just in love with last year's stats.
That was definitely the argument that because I had him in my breakouts column the first time I wrote it, I think back at the end of June or early July. And that was basically the entire argument. The only thing for me was just watching in the preseason. Last year, he played, I think, 35 snaps on third down. J.D. McKissick played 280 or something. It was this huge disparity. And Gibson only played 1 snap on third down in the preseason. He played like 30 snaps total. So that's the concern for me. However, I think Peyton Barber played like 8 of those third down snaps, or no, he played like 5 third down snaps, I think. And so, if Gibson goes from playing 10% of the third down snaps to 40%, even that I think would be enough to make him a, breakout. So it's a really, like, it's not a huge difference, but it's a really key difference for him because he's going so high. If he doesn't catch 45+ passes, I think he's probably going to be pretty disappointing.
All right, Jacob, give me round 2.
What about T. Higgins and Chase Claypool? Is that too high?
No, not at
all.
There's
no such thing as too high.
I had both of them as well.
Okay, so I'm super high on both those guys. If you've heard me on FFT or FFT in 5, I talk about targets per out run all the time, and those two their data from the rookie season stands out more than any other rookie receiver last year, even more than Justin Jefferson in terms of their surprising ability to draw targets. And so I'm just super, super excited, given the past history. Look at receivers who have had the trajectory they've had so far. I think both are going to ball out this year. I'm super, super bummed for them.
Yeah, I think I'm more concerned about Claypool.
I am too.
His rates are
really,
insane.
It's
I'm
Ben's
not
arm,
concerned-
right? It's Ben's arm and the amount of weapons.
I'm not concerned about Claypool. I'm very concerned about Ben Roethlisberger.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about a 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger who looked completely washed up in the second half of last season. Like, it was hard to watch that offense.
Honestly, I have more faith in Roethlisberger. He said his arm feels better than it did last year, and I could absolutely buy it. I'm concerned about Claypool because if you look at his season last year, I just don't think it was that good. He had one game where he went absolutely off. And I like Claypool. What'd you say?
I said I called it on our terrestrial radio show. I called that game too.
Yeah, he had 100.
I called the 3 to 4 touchdown game.
He had 5. Okay, he had 5 games of more than 60 yards. And to look at all the other, recent year 2 breakouts,
His snaps were really limited last year, though. He's gonna play a lot more this year, right?
Yeah,
I would hope so. I like him. I take him like right after Higgins. But it's just if I'm comparing the two, Higgins to me had a much more impressive rookie season than Claypool. And that does matter.
I do feel like he's priced that way. Like the Higgins, Woods, Kupp, Ayuk, Galladay, Chase group is going in that 4th to 5th range, and then Claypool's like a round and a half later. So I think that's priced in a little bit.
You would be shocked. I'm going to tell you CBS ADP right now. Claypool is going 74th. Higgins is going 75th. Jamar Chase is going 50th.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. I like Higgins. Wow. Way more
I'm
than
surprised Higgins isn't higher than he is,
Yeah.
given all the noise.
That's
about
very
Chase.
surprising.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he hasn't climbed much.
Wow.
He is, if I'm looking also at the last 10 days of NFC ADP, and Higgins is 51st, and Chase Claypool was 63rd, and Jamar Chase is 64th. So Higgins is a round ahead of them in those drafts. Scott, give me one more breakout.
I'll go even deeper to a guy that I took way too high today as well, but I will not leave a draft without him, and that's Terrace Marshall Jr. I just can't leave drafts without him. I think there's a possibility, just given his high pointing and big play ability, that he's a guy that fights for the touchdown lead in Carolina. I think that being reunited with Joe Brady is great. Joe Brady knows how to use him. He played over 73% in the slot last year. That's the role he's going to take over for Curtis Samuel, but he can jump outside if needed, if there's an injury. I love everything about that situation for Marshall, and I think he's going to be able to, move into that role slowly if he wants to. He doesn't have to take on everything at once as a rookie, because there are other receivers and options there in McCaffrey and Anderson on the other side, and DJ Moore. For where he's going in drafts, I think he's way gonna overhit that, overhit his value.
You know what the analog would be? Chase Claypool last year. Like, that's
Sure.
what you're hoping for. He's the third option in a passing game.
Yeah.
Steelers' passing game wasn't that great. I mean, Roethlisberger threw for 33 touchdowns, but he was at like 6.6 yards per attempt or something really low. And so you're hoping that Terrace Marshall can be the third option who makes his butter or butters his bread in the red zone would be the idiom to use there. So
Yeah.
no, I like him a lot. I think he's going to open up a lot for this offense because he gives them a different look. Curtis Samuel was a little too samey alongside DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. So I think he kind of makes the whole thing make sense a little more.
Yeah.
Chris, I fill up on bread way too often.
Oh, no, I am like a bottomless pit when it comes to bread. You give me a bowl of bread and some hot, like melty butter.
Yeah.
Must be a bald guy thing. That's me too. Maybe that's the connection.
It's like ridiculous. You go to a nice restaurant and they bring you bread and butter, and I fill up on it. It's ridiculous. It's childish.
Call me a child, because
The difference between you and me, Adam, is I don't fill up.
I power through. I'm going to eat are you guys leftovers people, or you go there, you do the job, and you don't bring anything home? I'm
I'm so forgetful is the problem. It's shameful, really. It's one of my great shames.
Like you have leftovers and you leave them at the restaurant, forgetful, or what?
No,
Yeah,
in my fridge for like 5 days, and then
Yeah, I'm not a leftovers guy either. Just not really.
Jacob, what about you?
No leftovers for me. It's all gone.
Yeah, good for one thing I learned about Scott Fish from Dave Richard. You saw him not too long ago. Apparently, Scott Fish is very tall.
I'm shrinking. I was a 6'3" man, and now at age 41, I believe I'm 6'2" now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that doesn't bode well for me in the next few years.
Yes, I'm dropping to 5'8" in about 10 years.
All right, Jacob and Scott, thank you so much for your insights, for being a part of this, for helping us raise money. Good stuff, and we'll talk to you soon.